I'm going to be spending most of the time doing Qigong exercises. I just kind of feel it's what you need right now to keep the body moving, keep us active a little bit, do some stretching and all. And we'll spend most of our hour doing that. Okay, I believe we've got one more week to continue. Saying hi to some people back there, so it's good to see some people out and about here today. We've got one more week. I believe next Wednesday will be the last Wednesday that we'll be doing this, but hopefully you'll go back and review a lot of the videos that we have put together already, and that you can find either on Facebook or especially on YouTube, if you go to YouTube. All right, let's begin by just taking a few breaths together. So standing with your legs hip width apart, make sure those knees are slightly bent, and you're evenly weighted on both sides of the body. We don't want to be shifting the weight from one side to the other, so we're nice and balanced. Take a nice deep breath in. And relax the breath out. Now remember, when we're breathing in, we want the lower abdomen just below the navel to expand just a little bit, and then out again. You relax that area. Breath in. Breath out. And another one. Good. So throughout the entire class, throughout all the exercises that we do, we want to try to breathe in deeply. The area I was speaking about, there's my navel, is just below the navel. You want that to expand out slightly, so make sure you're breathing in deep enough. What that does is it pushes the diaphragm down and creates a larger space or cavity within here, and massages all the organs, moves the organs around. And then when you breathe out, it normally just contracts or relaxes back into its normal place. The diaphragm lifts up again. Okay, so we want to make sure we're doing nice deep breathing through all the exercises. All right, let's bring our arms up in front here. And we're pulling back twice. We cross, we open up wider twice. Skip our standing pose for today. I'll leave that up to you to do that maybe at the end of the class to settle yourself down just a bit. Contrast to last week, we've got the humidity back. So my walks and runs have been either very early morning or very late in the evening time. Trying to stay out of the heat and the humidity. Let's go here one more time. Good. Now shoulder rolls. Squeeze your shoulder blades together in the back, bring the shoulders up toward your ears, and then let them come forward. So just repeat that. With each shoulder roll, take a breath. So when I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together, I'm opening up the lungs more, so I'm taking my breath in at this point in time, and then relax, breathing out. Now let's reverse that motion. Bring the shoulders up toward your ears. Squeeze the shoulder blades together in the back. Let them relax. So I'm breathing in here and then breathing out as I relax. Let's go one more time. So nice deep breath in, relax, breathing out. Okay? So very important to connect the breath in all the movements that we do. Oftentimes when people are exercising, they forget about their breathing. And oftentimes they'll hold a breath, and so they become winded very, very quickly. So we want to make sure we're taking in nice, deep breaths while doing these exercises. None of them are so fast that you cannot take nice breaths, okay? So either hands together here, running them around, or you can just turn the hands around. Remember, once again, I keep reminding, if you have joint pain in your wrists, this is a much gentler way of loosening up the wrists by just closing the gate and opening the gate, okay? Doing that several times. And then you're pointing those fingers forward and lifting them up and pointing them down. Keep the arm very still. You don't want to do this, because there I'm not working the wrist. It's just a matter of moving the fingers up and down, yeah? So that's a recommendation from Arthritis Foundation. If you have joint pain, you have arthritis pain in the wrists, yeah? But either way you do it, make sure that you loosen them up very well, and then we'll loosen our fingers up by bringing them down one at a time and opening them up one at a time, yeah? So trying to maintain independence in each finger. The older we get, these joints, especially because of frequent use, can get very, very stiff, might even hurt. So doing this slowly, we're not doing them quickly, doing them slowly every single day helps to keep those joints as loose as they can possibly be. One more time. Good. Okay, let's come back to the shoulders. I'm going to take one arm across my chest. With the other arm, I'm just going to tug in just a little bit. So you should be getting a good stretch all along the shoulder area here. Very good. Now we'll do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to hold these stretches for about 15 seconds or so to get a good feel of the stretch. Of course, you can always hold any stretch longer if you feel like you need it. Good. Relax from that. Okay. Again, back to hip width apart in case you've changed that at all, at least hip width or shoulder width apart. Hands coming in front and bringing them around. Circle them back to the sides and back up in front. Once you have that movement down, you know the rest. Hips moving around. Big a circle as you possibly can. Good, now you're going to reverse the direction of your hips, changing nothing with the hands. Very good, and if you have the arms are confusing you, we really want to focus on the hips, and you can just put your hands on the hips or side of the hips and just make sure you're really moving your hips around as much as possible. And you can reverse that again. Very good. Okay, so something about the arms with that there. When we're doing this, we're not so much working the shoulder joints, although they are working there, but we really kind of want to get into the wrists and the elbow joints, okay? So when I'm doing this, it's not so much that, it's this here, and then you can see how my elbow kind of curves around, right? Okay, so it's that there. So good little exercise just for getting that elbow to kind of go each direction, right? So we are rotating the shoulder joint, but we want to make sure that we're also working the wrist and that elbow, so just in there, like that, okay? So, good, all right. Feet together, bending over slightly. We're going to work on those knee joints now by just taking them around in small circles. I want you to do about 10 in the direction that you're going, and then do 10 the other direction. Are you still breathing in nice and deep? If not, come back to the breath. When you finish doing 10 on each side, and there's no rush, you're going to bend at the knees, just going down as far as possible, and come back up. Let's do 6 of these. You want to do them slowly. On this 6th one here, let's go down and hold. Very gently come on up. Good. All right, so now we're really working those muscles around the knees and such. Let's move on down to our ankles. You can lift foot and turn it around both directions. Again, make sure you're not circling the leg around, you're just doing the foot. So you're working on the ankle. Remember, a gentle way of doing this is touching the toes, the heel, outside, inside of the foot, and you've got to go through several rotations of that. Good. Let's switch over to the other one. If you lose your balance with this, have a chair close by that you can hold on to. Good. If you've got a chair, keep it close by. We're going to need it maybe later for some exercises that we do in the dragons, the last dragon that we get to. Okay? All right. So we've pretty much from head to toe have loosened up a little bit, okay? But we haven't done anything laterally. So what I want you to do is bring your feet closer together, a couple of inches in between, and take one of your arms up alongside of the head, and then you're going to reach to the opposite direction. Once you've gotten there, just let that arm just hang over your head so it's not tensing up at all. It's just resting over your head. Then turn down to look at the floor. Breathe in nice and deep to the side of the rib cage, especially, that's being stretched and opened up. good. You'll stand up from that slowly, release that stretch, release the compression, and then bring the arm down. Oh, that feels so good to open up the body that way. Let's do it the other side, right? So don't forget to let that arm relax over the head so it doesn't tense. And we'll stand back up slowly, then release. Good. All right, so we are trying, especially because of our deep breathing, to really open up this whole area in here in the rib cage and to fill the lungs up every time we're taking a nice deep breath, filling the lungs up, and so really opening up, breathing into the sides. Oftentimes we don't work the transverse abdominis muscles here. Okay, and they're very, very important for support, stability, and balance. So we have to keep these muscles working well. Okay, they'll help us with our balance. All right. Okay, good. So, so we've gone through these opening exercises. Now we're going to go into some of the qigong that we've learned along the way. We're going to do the Baduan Jin first. Okay, we'll begin with lifting the sky and going into separating yin and yang. Okay, so I think by now you're fairly familiar with these exercises, so we'll just kind of go through them. But first, once again, make sure you're standing in a good position. Your legs must be about hip width apart, and what I mean by that is the front of your hips, not the side of the body. Okay, now some men are a little bit more as possible facing forward with the knees going the same direction as the toes and slightly bent. Okay, now again, some people might be a little bit more comfortable by turning the toes out just slightly. That's okay. We just don't want to be standing pretty much here the way I'm standing. We don't want that. Okay, so as parallel as possible, toes turning out slightly if necessary. Knees are soft, meaning that they're slightly bent. Okay, and you're going to let that weight sink down so that you are engaging your leg muscles. Okay, too often when people are doing these exercises, they're standing way up here and they're not engaging the leg muscles. If we drop our weight, just like we're about to sit down onto a tall stool, you can feel your leg muscles engaged. And that's why Tai Chi is so, one of the reasons why Tai Chi and Qigong is so good for balance, because it's always working on your legs. It's always strengthening your legs. We need good, strong leg muscles if we're going to have better balance. Okay? All right, so the first exercise, lifting the sky, standing up nice and tall, knees still bent, however. Let's begin here. Breath in all the way up to the top. Stretch at the top, and breathe out, relaxing the body. So it's as if once we get to the top here, I'm trying to elongate my torso. Open it up. Push those palms up like you're trying to touch your ceiling. And then relax. Nice deep breath. Stretch. Then breathe out, relax the body. So once again, you can see we're opening up the rib cage. Are you keeping your legs engaged during this time? Let's do 3 more of these. Last one coming up. Nice deep breath in. And breath out. So if necessary, in between these exercises that you need to move those legs around a little bit because you feel them getting kind of tight, please do so. But then make sure you come back into that position. Okay? So people always wonder why, these exercises look very, very simple. And they are simple. They're not difficult to do, but they are simple but yet profound in what they work on. So when we're doing our standing post, if that weight is dropped, you're standing there for 4 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is that you're doing, and you're working all the shoulders and muscles in the arms to keep those arms out there, and you're engaging your legs. So if you do that every single day, you'd be surprised how strong you actually get. You don't have to be going and pumping, 100, 120 pounds or whatever, you might be doing, okay? Just by doing standing posts, which is one of the reasons why we do that. Not only to calm the body, because it takes a while to calm the body, calm the mind, to stay here and make sure that those legs are being engaged and the muscles in the arms are being engaged. But we get to the point where we're really strengthening ourselves by doing this, because we're not accustomed to doing it. Oftentimes when we are walking around doing the things that we need to do, we are very top heavy. We're always kind of lifting from the top and weights on the balls of the feet, so that's why we get off balance very easily. So Tai Chi teaches us to let that weight always drop. We think about weight just kind of dropping into the center area here. That engages the legs and makes sure that our feet are pretty much flat on the floor. And it's then more difficult to lean forward and lose my balance, so it teaches me also to keep that back nice and straight. Okay? So back into our nice Qigong position. This is actually known as a Wuji position, because we have no more weight on any part of the body than any place else. So you're weighted from your toes to your heels evenly, from the outside to the inside of the foot evenly, okay? And on both sides of the body evenly, all right? So let that weight just kind of sink down a little bit, and we'll do separating yin and yang. Palms facing up. You'll get your left hand going up first, so we're doing on the same side. They both come up first, then your left hand goes up, right hand goes down. Let's turn your head on over to your right side. We're going to combine two of these exercises together. Breath in. Once the palms cross or hands cross, we breathe out, turning our head the opposite direction. Press down, press up. Here we go. Keep those legs engaged. Just back and forth. Turn your head to the side as far as possible, and with your eyes, look back as far as possible. So no one can sneak up on Tai Chi teachers. It's like we have eyes in the back of our head. Mothers the same way. They see everything we do they not? Let's go one more on each side. Good, bring that arm down. All right, so we combined two from the Bad Wajing there, so we're actually done three now, because normally when you do this, you're not turning their head. I like to do it, that way as opposed to just doing this here, right? But you can do this also. This is also a good way to open up the chest, but we've been working on opening up that chest quite a bit today so far in class, all right? So, next one that we're going to do is drawing the bow, okay? So, on this one here, it's important that we keep good alignment, all right? So oftentimes when we are drawing the bow from one side to the other, we will tilt the body. We break the alignment that we have. You know, I'm not trying to compress anything here. When I draw the bow, my body should be straight up and down the way it is here, even though my legs are very separated, okay? So you want to practice doing that. Don't tilt the head even though the torso might be straight. Sometimes we just tilt the head. We want to make sure the head's even, okay? So let's get in a good alignment first. Stepping out as wide as is comfortable for you. You want to make sure that the feet are going, the knees rather, are going the same direction as your feet, okay? So we don't want knees buckling in or buckling out, all right? And again, drop the weight so that you're going to feel it in your quads, okay, as well as your hamstrings and your glutes. Cross the hands here in front. We'll take a breath in. When we are stationary, we breathe out and we shift the weight, okay? So I'm going to draw the bow over to my left. It'll be to your right. So I'm going to take a breath in. And as I breathe out, I will shift my weight. I'm drawing the bow to the left, so I shift the weight into my right leg. Here, breath in, the hand comes around. Breath out, shift that weight. Watch your alignment. Breath in, bring that hand around. Breath out, shift the weight again, draw that bow, trying to hit the same target left and right every single time. Just continue. Breath in, breath out. Remember, only on breathing out are you shifting your weight. Breath in. When you shift your weight, you've got one leg that's straightening, not completely. The other leg is really bending at the knee, so you really shift that weight into the quads. Here we go. Again. Wherever you're at, do one more on each side. Keep the torso straight. Good. So this is a good one to do in front of the mirror. Sometimes we don't realize what our body is doing. Okay? I know when I first started doing Tai Chi, I thought I got every movement down right the first time. And my teacher would tell me, do you have a full-length mirror that you could practice in front of these movements? I said, well, yes, I do. He said, well, why don't you give that a try? Because I keep telling you not to do this thing, and you keep doing it. So I did, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what my body is doing. This is why I say oftentimes that Tai Chi teaches us what our body is actually doing from the top of our heads to the bottom of our feet. It's teaching us where's my weight, how's my alignment, you know, am I twisted, am I doing different things? I've got more weight on one side than the other. And I did not realize that while I was physically very, very active at the time, but that so many things that I was doing incorrectly is what was causing all of my aches and pains. You know? So once I got my alignment together, I realized that after about a year, maybe a year and a half at the most, I no longer had the knee pains that I had. I no longer had the joint pains that I had. I played a lot of tennis and tennis elbow and doing things like that. You know, I just didn't have that joint pain. And I was starting to get that joint pain at a young age, at 39 when I first started doing Tai Chi. And I can say now that my joints actually feel better than they felt back then. you know, and it's all because of proper alignment. Now, I will confess to you that there are times when I'm doing things and my body suddenly tells me, would you check your alignment, please? I was doing that the other day. They were coming around to pick up brush, and so I was up and down a ladder trying to cut some trees, some branches off of some of the trees, you know. And there was times when you're reaching for things, you know, I just have an extension, and I was trying to clip some branches and all, that I realized that I was pulling myself way out of alignment and overextending just to try to get up to the branch, you know. And I had to come to the point and say, actually, this is as high up as I can get. So until that branch gets a little bit lower, it's fine, you know. But I didn't want to pull, especially right now with my shoulder, my left shoulder, didn't want to pull anything out of alignment. So please, watch yourself in doing these things. This is a daily practice, a daily routine, not just when you are practicing these exercises, right? Okay. All right. So the next one that we're going to do, going back to your legs. I gave your legs a little bit of a break because we're jumping right back into it again with the legs. This is the time your stance is what they call a horse stance. So your feet are pointing pretty much straight ahead. Again, if you have to point them out just a little bit, that's okay. And then you really want to lower the weight on this one like you're about to ride a horse, right? Okay. You're going to bring your fists along the side of the body. Okay. I'm going to breathe in, and then I'm going to punch. But the punch is very slow. And when I punch, I'm tensing everything in my fist and in my arm and my shoulder. I punch out, and then I will relax everything. I'm going to turn my thumb down toward the floor, and then back to the outside, and then bring it back. Make a light fist, and then draw it back. Okay? You might have to take a couple of breaths while doing this. Please do so. Find a comfortable rhythm for yourself. Okay? So here we go. Doesn't matter which arm you start with. We're going to do even number on each side. So let's begin. Breath. Tensing that arm. Relax. Turn the thumb down toward the floor and then to the outside. So it's really twisting your arm. Then back up top. Fist, light fist here. Nothing tense. Draw it back. Tense the other arm. Throw your punch. You can even tense your face at this point in time, like you're really upset with somebody. You're really wanting to punch them. Here we go. Relax everything back. Focus on your breath in doing this next one. Tense the arm. This turns the shoulder joint in, then it turns it out. Try doing this one for 81 times on each side. Don't worry about those legs. They're just getting stronger. I sometimes think that the punching here, the tenseness of the arms, is to try to distract us from what's going on in the legs. Let's do one more on each side. Punch, tense, relax, turn out, turn back in, draw back. Good. All right. Maybe shake that out of your legs a little bit. Okay. I'm going to get myself a little bit of a drink. It is warmed up. I don't know about you, but I need something refreshing here for just a moment. Very good. Okay. So, on this next one, we're going to be stretching down. We bring the hands back up and around, then back down again. Okay? So, again, If you're not able to today, maybe, this is as far down as you can go, that's okay, all right? What we say in Tai Chi is that you send the mind all the way down to the floor, okay? As if I was going all the way down. But this is only as far as I can get, but I'm extending down there with my mind, okay? As if one day I will be able to go all the way down to the floor, and maybe one day you will, okay? And sometimes, some days, you know, you wake up, that back's just not working the way it normally functions. Bad night of sleep, whatever. And that's as far as you're able to go. That's okay, all right? So, let's take a breath in. Once again, make sure you're in a good stance. Breath out. We'll take the hands all the way down to the floor if possible. On the inside of the feet, breathing in all the way up to the top. We're doing this slowly. Once they cross over the top of the head, you can begin to breathe out. You can bring the hands side of the body. Once you get down to the bottom, you begin to breathe in again. And then breathing out. This time I'm going to take my hands behind the back. Behind the legs. Now let's come back up halfway here, okay? Because, again, I'm really emphasizing the breath again today for a number of different reasons. In the summertime, when it gets so humid, it can get even humid inside the house, right? So even if you're exercising inside, if you lose track of your breath, it's very easy just to get tired a whole lot faster, okay? Or doing whatever it is that you're doing, cleaning house, whatever it might be, preparing dinner, whatever it might be. You lose track of your breath, you get tired, okay? It's the breath and breathing in that gives us energy. So, I was doing about a 10-second breath from the bottom up to the top of breathing in, and 10 seconds of breathing out, okay? Now that may be too long for some of you, but try this. Try a 5-second breath up to here, breathing in, breathe out, 5 seconds, breathe in, 5 seconds, breathe out, 5 seconds, okay? So you're doing at least a 10-second breath. When you slowed it down to 10 seconds, then you're taking 6 breaths a minute. Most people, if they watch their breath, they're taking anywhere from 13 to 17 breaths a minute, which is why they're losing energy, okay? So if we slow the breath down, that energizes the body. It brings oxygen into the body, into the blood, okay? So at least 5 seconds up, 5 seconds here, breathing out, and you take 2 breaths doing it that way, okay? All right, so let's go back to that one again. Do a little bit more stretching and more breath work, all right? So let's take a breath in, breathe out all the way to the bottom, and then you'll begin your breath in again. Remember, you can start your exhalation at this point if you want, but I'm going to continue to breathe in all the way to the top and all the way back down. do one more complete one from the top, or rather from the bottom, right back down to the bottom. Good. All right. So, don't forget that I told you that when you're inhaling, you are engaging your sympathetic nervous system. That is the fight, flight, or freeze nervous system, okay? It's what gives us that adrenaline rush, all right? So the breath in. The breath out, if you extend that a little bit more, is what calms us back down, okay? So when I'm breathing in, I'll make it a little bit shorter than my breath out, okay? I tend to focus a lot of my breath out because when I'm doing exercise, especially if I'm doing Tai Chi and doing the form and doing the fast form, I want to make sure that I'm providing enough oxygen for my body to do it, but I also want to be sure that I'm also calming the body back down, calming the heart back down as well, okay? So I extend my exhalations just slightly longer than my inhalations doing that, okay? Just something for you to think about. If you are wanting to sit down and relax for 5 minutes, make your exhalations longer than your inhalations. That's what will help you to relax. Calm the mind, calm the body down too. Okay? All right, good. So, which other one do we need to do? Dropping the post, right? Dropping the post. All right, so I'm going to stand sideways just so you see it, okay? But all I'm really going to be doing is lifting my body up onto my toes and then dropping back down, right? Okay? So breath in, breath out. You can blow the breath out on this one here. Breath in, breath out. So you come up onto the toes. You don't even have to do the hands if you don't want. I just use that for extra momentum. Drop onto those heels. Blow your breath out. I can't hear you. One more time. Good. I heard somebody that time. All right. Good. All right. So that's just the way of finishing that set, that form. Just kind of getting the breath released. Okay? All right. So very good. So I want to work on the dragons again a little bit more. Remember, the dragons have to do with our spine primarily. So it's opening up the whole rib cage and the spine, elongating the spine as the dragon begins to wake up in the morning. We're going to go through these rather quickly, but I want to show you again, obviously, the footwork and all. But for this first one, greeting the dawn, bring your feet together, make sure that those knees are bent, okay, and let that weight drop just slightly here. This is the one where I'm going to throw my hands back and turn one direction, breathe in, and as I turn the other direction, I breathe out, but you notice my body is straight up and down. I'm not bending over. I'm just letting the arms come down. So you're turning as far left and right as possible, okay? It doesn't make any difference which direction you begin, okay? All right, so here we go. Breath in. Throw those hands back, and then up, and breath out on the other side. Now we're going to change directions here. So we breathe out, throw those hands back to open up across the front again, breathe in, turn the other direction, breathing out. And this is the last one. Good. Okay. Now step further out. You're going to take one arm, place the other hand back here. The other arm's going to drop down to the bottom. Okay. You are not locking the joint, but you're straightening the arm as much as possible without locking the elbow joint. What you're going to do is you're going to bring it up and turn to the other side. While the other one goes back around, you straighten that arm. When the One arm goes down, the other one goes up, and you're turning side to side. You turn as far to your left and your right as possible. Straighten that arm out. You're stretching up here. You're stretching back. Right here, I'm stretching back as I reach back. Bring that arm up. You can use the same breath work here by breathing in on one side and out on the other side. If you want to shorten the breath or you want to lengthen the breath, breathe in, doing one arm to the other side. Breathe out, bringing the other arm back over. So a lot of different ways you can kind of play with your breath here. Very good. Do one more turn over to what other side? I can't remember which side I started on, so there. Good. So that's just another exercise where we are really turning the spine one direction and the other. Okay? All right. So the other one, walking dragon. I have one foot in front of the other, directly in front of the other. Now, normally we wouldn't ever say put one foot directly in front of the other, because it's too easy to trip over. But here we are not walking, okay, in this case here. And what we do is we will pivot that back foot so that now they're both turned toward each other, and it creates a little bit of space between the feet. But when I shift my weight back, I pivot that other foot back, and now they're both turned opposite directions, right? Okay? So I have my left leg in front. Doesn't make any difference which one you have in front, but you put the same leg and arm out first, okay? So my left arm is over my left leg. I'm standing up nice and tall, opening up my chest area. The other hand is by the side of the rib cage. My weight's on the back leg. I'm going to breathe in first, and as I breathe out, I will shift weight into the front leg and extend the opposite arm forward. Okay? Breathe in as you shift weight back. Breathe out. So you're turning the body from one side to the other. Okay? Here my body is facing over toward my right. When I shift weight forward, it's facing to my left. If you have your right foot in front, it'll be the opposite of that, okay? Just make sure the body is turning. Good, one more here. And back. So if you're not feeling the muscles moving here in the lumbar area, something's wrong, okay? Not doing it quite right. You need to really turn the body a little bit more. The purpose of this is not really to work the shoulders. So don't overextend, okay? I'm going to put my right foot in front now, which means my right arm goes out first, okay? So I'm not trying to extend here so much that I'm throwing my shoulders, muscles, and joints out of alignment, okay? I'm just stretching forward here. Remember, we're trying to work the spine, okay? So this is breath in, weights in the back leg, and breath out. I'm focusing back here in the lower back. Here we go. Breath in, and then out. At this point, you have same leg and arm in front. And then, breathing out. Shift that weight forward. Turn the body. Let's do two more of these. last one. And breath in, coming back. Okay? Now don't forget, you can walk during this time, so I would take a step forward with the left, go into the next movement, take it forward with the right, and that's how a dragon walks. All right, he's got a nice long body, he walks like that, okay? All right, so, two more that I want to take you through, okay? We're going to skip swimming dragon today because we did this one here, and that's pretty much like swimming dragon, except that we were moving our hips on that one there. But flying dragon is one we'll do next. So let's work with the arms first, okay? Hands are over the head or side of the head with the palms up, okay? Try to keep those palms facing up the entire time. What I'm going to do is bring them back and around to the side, then to the front. I'm going to bring them back underneath my armpits, push those fingers back, and circle them back around again. So here my palms are trying to stay up as much as possible, and then back up to the top or the side of the head, right? So one more time. To the side, to the front, underneath the arms, push back with the fingers rather, and then back up to the top. Okay, now that we have that, let's get one foot in front. Okay? So the movement here, we're going to be doing this while we're shifting weight and turning the body. Okay? So let me go through one first, and then I might turn to my side and you might see it better. So I'm going to come here. As my hands begin to push back, you can see now I'm shifting my weight to the front, and I'm turning my body. My left leg is in front, so I'm turning my body to my left, and I'm looking over my left shoulder as much as possible. I shift my weight back, and then I'm here, right? So I'm going to turn sideways. Maybe you can see it just a little bit better. The footwork is the same as it was on the first one that we did, okay? So here we go. So I'm take a breath in. Once those hands go back, I'm breathing out. Stand up, breathing in, bring those arms back up top. Breath out. And if you haven't worked your legs hard enough during this class, you can go down further. That's up to you. We'll leave that up to the audience. As I said, we're always engaging the legs, yeah? Okay, let's switch sides, all right? So I had my left foot in front there. I'm going to put my right foot in front. And I'll do it from the side again. So in this case, I'm going to be turning to my right because my right leg is in front, okay? So here we go. Weights on the back leg. This is breathe in first. Hands come out to the front. As they're coming back, you breathe out and turn the body, look over that right shoulder. Or just look over the shoulder, whether it's your left or your right, whichever one. And again. Anybody want to try one? Just going down further. Just bend that knee. Come back up. Let's do one more. Flying dragon. Good. Okay. Now, again, we would do the same thing with that one if we wanted to actually fly. Right? There. Let's step forward. Do the next one. And just keep going forward. All right. Next class. Okay. So now we'll move into, I'll say this very quietly, drunken dragon. So, at the end of the day, he enjoys a little drink. Okay, he's gone swimming, he's gone walking, he's gone flying, so he needs something to drink. Okay, but while I say that, these are the most challenging as far as balance is concerned. Okay, so that's where that chair comes in. Okay, so you can bring that chair into play, so you have it close by. But the first one we're going to do is called, what is it called? Spinal wave, I'm sorry. Spinal wave, okay? So put one of your feet out in front, or you're basically standing on the back leg, okay? The other one's just kind of touching the toes down. You're going to bring your hands up. We'll do 3 on each side. We're going to just go down as far as you're able to, and then standing up slowly. Make sure your head's the last part of you to come up, and it comes kind of up. Standing straight up. Again. Third time through. Okay. Now, you're going to put that foot down flat. And what you're going to do is bring your weight standing directly over that leg. See how I let my weight drop there? Then you're going to take that back leg off the floor, and you're going to lean forward somewhat. You can take your hands if you want to and hold on to that chair if you have it there, or extend them back. Just hold that for a few seconds. If you touch down like I just did there, fine. That's fine. You go right back into it. Strengthening that leg that you're standing on. Then you want to touch down for just a moment. Watch me what I'm going to do. I'm going to attempt to stand up on one leg. Okay, bring that knee up. You can also bring the hands and stretch up there, right? So just, if you're wobbly, that's okay. Just trying to find the balance point, right? Good, that's good enough, right? Okay, all right. Same thing on the other side, yes. You work your muscles. Strengthen those legs. So now my other foot's tapping out in front. 3 spinal waves. Each wave should be 1 breath. Third time through. Good. Okay. That front foot goes flat. There. Stand directly over that leg. Take that back foot off the floor. Lean forward. You don't have to go down, you don't have to go down all the way here. Just leaning forward a little bit. It's okay if you're wobbly a little bit. You're working on your balance. Remember, you can extend your arms back. In yoga, they extend them forward. Whichever works for you. And then try to bring that left or that other leg up to where the knee comes up. You don't have to raise it up too high. Stretch, open. Ah, yes. Yes. Okay, if you're wobbly, that's okay. Remember, we had a little drink. All right. It's about time for us to kind of close out this class. So I've taken you through a lot during this class. Really spent a lot of time working the legs, reminding you about your breath while doing these exercises and anything that you do. Be sure you're breathing in regularly, consistently, deep breaths. Okay? And then we just closed out the class by working on the spine quite a bit. All right? So let's take a breath together. Nice deep breath in and out. One more, and then we will go into our salutes. Good. Left hand up, thumb down, right fist, palm facing out. We'll bow and clap 3 times in unison. All right, somebody was not in unison, but that's okay. We'll practice for next week. Have a wonderful week. It's been great to be here with you again today. Hope you have a wonderful week. Take care.